Welcome to Empyrion Galactic Survival, and here we are guys, we're down on the old base in Akua, and I want to start this part by talking a little bit about some of your comments and hints and tips that you've been giving me guys. I really appreciate them because there's no way I claim to be an expert on this game because there's just so many wrinkles, and this is what I want to talk about, is some of the wrinkles of this game. And I'm going to start with a comment from Drayton, who commented to my video when I said I didn't pick the plants up, and he said it's most likely that this space was public, and it actually is. That's interesting. And just to kind of illustrate that guys, the difference between public and private. Now public and private really does relate to multiplayer, but even a lot of the multiplayer aspects do have an influence on the single player game. And just to illustrate this guys, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take that. If you look in the bottom left there, you will see, if I come up quickly, you will see it says 50 XP 1 stone dust. So when a building is public, you get the base resources back. Now if I change this to private, which is what Drayton said, if I come here, call my battery charges well up actually, you will see here, you can see now you get 1 concrete block, but more importantly you also don't get any experience points because it assumes that you're maintaining the base, and I would guess that the logic behind that is to stop people gaming experience points by simply just creating loads and loads of concrete blocks and then disassembling them and then doing it over and over and over again until they get to the necessary level. And just to illustrate the point again, now if this was public, if I disassembled this large constructor, I'd only get the base resources. And in theory, if I do this now, I actually get the large constructor. That's okay, that works very well. And of course I didn't empty it before I did it, but never mind. And I'm actually going to take advantage of this guys and go up onto the roof and whip off some of the solar panels because I don't really need them all now. And the idea is to eventually disassemble this base anyway, so actually I don't know why I actually came up here. I could come up here with the drone, couldn't I? Okay guys, there's a panel there, so we'll take that one and we'll take the one on the outside. So I only want a couple. We're going to leave a few here just to keep the base ticking over, but anyway. So that's the first tip, comment, whatever you want to call it guys. Whoops, daisy. And of course I haven't got my jetpack on. I always forget. I just wish that the game would save the status of your jetpack. And the next one is the beginning of, I would probably honestly say, some of the most complicated aspects of the game, although the bit I'm going to talk about is the basics, and that is groups guys. And just jump in the ship guys. If I come in here, you'll see that the ship I built isn't grouped at all. Actually, it's damaged as well. Okay, need to think about that. It says group here, ungrouped here, and there's all sorts of shortcuts and twists and turns on this. But the way you create a group, if you want to kind of have custom groups, is you come up here, and I'm just going to call it test 1 or top 1. Test 1. Oh, come on, my caps lock's on. Test 1 open. Now the reason I'm giving it that really stupid name is simply the fact that I'm going to be getting rid of it anyway. And then you've got this button here, it says add to group, and what you need to remember guys is that you need to click on this for it to actually get added to the group. If you just do this and come up here and go like that, and it says test 1, if you do this, oh, it actually did it. Okay, I think that's because I did the previous one, but sometimes if you do this, it won't actually add it to the group. But you can see I've created a group called test 1 with 2 bits and pieces in. Now you can do all sorts of things with that, but the reason I've showed you the manual way first is the fact that you've got a button here that auto groups them. And the reason I called it test 1 is it says here, if you auto group, it says this will clear your current items, names and groups. And this discussion is based on comments from Cobber42 and John VZ800, who talked about groups and the way things are happening, because this leads into now what they were talking about, and this is the ability to name cargo boxes, and it's not very effective here, so we'll just call this general. Whoops. I should have clicked it, sorry about that guys. So I'm just going to call it general here for, so you can name specific items once they're within a group, and I think that's the key factor guys. And I know it looks a bit inept here, but if I come out of here and power this up, and if we go back to my base, my new base, and you see the sun's just coming up, I'm hoping for a fine day, because what I would like to do in this part is actually do the foundation for taking out a comm center. So we'll just hopefully for fine weather. So we're just going to get back to his base here. And as I say, the real power of groups, I mean, there's so many things you can do with groups, and as again, a lot of it is related to multiplayer. I don't know why I'm walking around with the multi. Actually, yes, I do need the multi tool, don't I? Because I'm just going to do this, guys, while I remember that. But of course, the real power now is if I come into here, you can see this is the base I built. If I auto group it, and we've now got the cargo containers, cargo boxes. Let's make sure I get the right one. Yeah. And I think that these can go into here for the moment, and I'm just going to call this junk box, because this is the one with all the bits and pieces, and we'll call this one general supplies, which is the one that's going to hold the key elements that I want to use. So we can put, well, we can put the concrete blocks in it. I've got a solar panel in here as well. Okay, so we better put that back in the junk box with its mate. And what we're just going to do is the food processor access. And of course, the downside of auto creating is that you get the default names. So that's the downside. I'm just going to put the water in here. And we're going to put some stone dust in, and I'm just going to get to the constructor. And of course, once you've opened these up, they tend to stay open. So just drop the iron ore. Why do I have so much iron ore? That is iron ore. Okay. Oh well, never mind. You live and learn. And because now we're actually in the constructor, what I want to do is get down to the main bit here. I want to. Whoops. Wow, it's only going to create 2 anyway. So. That's because I was thinking about the ammunition, guys, but I've only got the capacitors to create 2 of these rocket launchers. And of course, what we do need is some 130mm missiles, and this is why I was thinking about. And I think we can make 60, because if we make 10, we get 60. And of course, so what I also need is, I think we'll get a couple of thousand rounds of ammunition, and while that's building, I'll just go and show you my greenhouse, and we can get rid of that. Greenhouse is coming along really well, guys. It's not complete. I need to go out and let some food rot, or so that we can get some rotted food. Maybe we can go and hunt some more of those dopey plant creatures. They have spoiled food on them as well, don't they? Is it spoiled food? That's what I was thinking of. I don't think these are still growing. These are still growing. I think those are ready to pick. Yep. And of course, we've got a couple of tomatoes in here as well. Let's pick that up. The corn's, well, we got a little bit of corn, so. And we're just going to open up the fridges. You can see where these now stay open. Right. Oops. Let's see, what we could do is, if I come here, this one we can call food. I'm very unimaginative. I'm not very good at naming groups, guys, so. And we can call this medical. So we can keep some of this stuff in. Now, true, I've got food in here as well, but that just draws the distinction. I think you don't need to be elaborate with the names, to be honest. I think if you, as long as you've got enough of a selection, right? We'll just let those last four finish while I'm going to mount the turrets on, or rocket guns on. Okay. Visibility is not a lot of copper, is it? Great. I thought it was going to be a nice bright day. Oops. Because the last thing you want to do to attack hostile POIs. Now, I could put the guns out here, the missiles out here, but the trouble with that is that while it looks pretty awesome, it means that you don't get line of fire, and what I really want at the moment is a line of fire for when I attack the hostile points of interest. So by having them like this, they fire where you aim, and because they're close together, they will both aim or converge on a single point, which makes them more destructive. And that's what you're really looking for, guys, is something that's a bit more destructive than... Okay, right, let's just pick these up. We don't need vaster quantities of ammunition. I'm just going to jump in here, guys, and of course we're just going to fill up. So we got 3,060 rounds of ammunition. Visibility is terrible. As I say, originally I was going to go, but this isn't good, particularly very good visibility, guys. So there's one thing I do want to do though, and that is, I know I'm a comm center missing. Where is it? There's one there, and what we can do is mark it, because I know that there's another one around. Okay, yeah, this is, so it's over there. You can hardly even see the indicators, because you definitely don't want to attack these bases in this type of visibility. But what I would like to do is try and find the comm center that's associated with it. And of course what we will do is, there's no point having empty guns and equipment, so just reload, guys. Yeah, God, this is a whiteout. Like a fog. Yeah, foggy open plains. And of course we're now going into the dark, so we're, not only is it foggy, but it's also dark. And to be honest, guys, when it comes to attacking these hostile POIs, I actually prefer Omicron, because one of the problems on Akua is when you try and get close to them, invariably they're surrounded by trees, and the trees stop you actually seeing what you actually want to do. Let's drop down a bit, actually. Now, I've got a feeling that because there's two comm centers close side by side. I know that for a fact, because I've flown across here, but for the second one didn't get picked up. So we're gonna have to kind of try and come in a little bit. And this is risky because, let's check my maneuverability. Yep, we're gonna be okay. I'll just keep flying this way. You certainly don't want to go barreling in on, there it is, I think it's just about where the crosshairs are now. So if I come this way, so that we're not close to that one. Okay. And probably the first sign we're going to get that we've actually approached it is when the cannon fire starts coming at us. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's behind these trees. There we are. There it is, there's the other one. And I don't know if you guys can actually see it, it's not... But there's some trees just in front, and of course we're right up against the green barrier here. And here they come. Okay, keep flying away, keep flying away. See, there's no point attacking them in this very poor visibility, so I think that's a bust, guys. So what we're going to do is fly away and see if we can do something else in this part, because otherwise I'm just going to be hanging around looking for things. I think what we're going to do, guys, actually, let's go back. Well, it doesn't look like I've actually done anything up here, so let's just put a waypoint in there and a waypoint there. Just fly through those waypoints just to see if there's anything over here. I can't remember if I've actually flown over it. I think what we'll do is we'll go back and check out the village. I know it's a bit of a soft target and we're not going to go in and kill anything, but we might get some decent loot in there. And there's something coming over the hill. So what's up here? Okay. What on earth is that? Defending anything here? Okay, it's obviously taking a long time to crash. Okay, back up. What on earth would he be defending up here, or is he just roving around? Where's he gone? Oh, I don't think he's disappeared. Has he gone down that hole? He's probably gone down into the lake, hasn't he? Oops. I don't know where he went, but I can't see him. And he's actually disappeared off the map. Okay. Weird. Weird, 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 weird. Maybe he was just on patrol. Okay, we're going to fly back over the mountains here. I can always get rid of that marker. Unless, of course, he was coming to attack my base. Where are we on the map? Okay. What we can do is just delete these. I don't actually need them now. So they just won't be confusing. So I think what we're going to do is fly towards the old base, guys. Actually, let's... I'm looking for the village. Residences, mining hub. Wow, where is everything? Crash Titan, abandoned factory. There's a village there. Okay, it's... Right, so it's 4.8 kilometers, but we need to make sure that we're a bit careful. Anyway, guys, I'm going to see you once I actually get to the village. Right, guys, here we are, flying in, and I've kind of skirted round the MS Titan, and oh, it's found some Promethium. Thank you. So there's still stuff to be found on here. And we're just moving in on the village. You can just see it in the fog, guys. And now generally the natives will always be friendly, but they have some, well, I suppose you could call them guard creatures, guard, whatever they're called. I'm not too sure what you actually call them. I think we're just going to land on top of here, and you can see that they're all starting to spawn. I'm just going to land in here. Okay. Of course, and you can see the spawning, like a spawner there, guys. So just gonna what we're gonna do is just take out the spawners so that we don't get any like this. Here he is. we really need alien parts, but cool, I haven't got my jetpack on. Wow. Right, I managed to pick up a poison bite. Great. Isn't that fun? And I'm hungry as well. Okay. Let me just get up here. So I've got a firing position. I thought I'd done that. Okay, well, I got a double poison bite, eh? That's not fair. Okay, reload. Right, there better be some good loot in here after that. I'm not doing very well here, guys. Right. Oh, we got some estrium, sathium, and zarcosium. It's not a vast amount, but it's going to be okay, guys. There's a spawner there. We'll just take that out. Okay. Nothing in here. Another spawner there. Let's reload. Okay. Nothing in here. As I say, it's important that you don't shoot these guys because they will basically... Normally you get creatures hanging around this front gate because that's where the way they expect you to come in. Okay, let's just nip up here. I think there's normally a... There it is, hidden there. Certainly going to grab that. We got here Akua berry, okay, and a torch. Always wanted a torch. That's probably one of the most redundant things in the game. I don't know why they still include it in the list for the inventory, to be honest. Okay, there's another spawn there. Get rid of that. Okay. Wait, stop making noises. Can you actually look down the well? I presume this is a well. No, okay. Got here a couple of tomato sprouts, pathing, large med kit. Okay, I suppose that compensates for the antidote, but then I can always go up and buy some more antidotes. Okay, guys. Hello. They're a lot bigger than you are, aren't they? Let me stand next to them. Wow. Okay, not that impressed. I think a small dead plant. And why would you want a small dead plant? I think that's about it. I'm sure they used to get more loot from villages than that in the past. Never mind, guys. Whip back into third person. I think what I'm going to do now, guys, is we're just going to make me way, back towards the base. Get back onto here. I don't want to waste me rockets on. We could go in and... Nah. Don't be silly. But I suggest that we go and have a little play with the abandoned factory on the way back, but maybe that's not one of my better ideas. I think we'll just sail over here, guys, on the way back. Fly into the sunset. I suppose that's a futuristic version of riding off into the sunset. Actually, what we could do is just drop down. There's some meat on the hoof there. Always. Wait, please stabilize. Just go fly off and grab this. Eggs, great. You get a great big triceratops, and all you get out of it is eggs and 2 meats. They're not particularly that good, actually. I was expecting a bit more from that, guys. Anyway, never mind. There's obviously a lot of them over here. I'm not going to kill any more because return against bullets, guys. Return against bullets. Well, that's my excuse anyway. I suppose what we could do, seeing we're in the vicinity. Okay, we'll just. I mean, this is sometimes. Sometimes this is a good way to actually. No, I want to drill. What am I on about? What happened to that? Oh, that's there. Oh, great. Okay. Stone removal. Little bit of a operator failure there, guys. Crushed stone, great. Always wanted crushed stone. And iron. Oh well, never mind. It all helps, I suppose. And we're just going to get back to the base, guys. And that's where I'll wind the video up. In the next part, guys, we will definitely be having a go at one of those comm centers, because I know some of you will say, well, they don't, you know, combat isn't part of the game, but in some ways it is part of the game, because if you, oops, let's do it a quick way. That if you, how can you explain it? Akua, Omicron, the starting planets don't have much in the way of resources, so the only way you can get the advanced resources is by attacking, taking over, and looting the hostile POIs. So that's the way you've got to look at it, guys, that you're actually fighting to gain the resources to get out into space and build the things that you want to build. So that's the way you've got to look at it, guys. Gate devices, large constructor, can certainly shove that in there. Estrum, Sarcosium, something. Don't need the alien parts. I've got a little bit there. Put the stone dust in, and of course we can now come back and use my general supplies thing, and we can actually the lamp can certainly go into the junk box along with the multi-tool, and wow, the alien parts and that can go in the food processor. I'm not sure why I'm keeping them in there, because I don't think they actually use for very much now. And of course where's my fridge? Fridge, there. Yeah, food, okay. And that can go in there. Anyway, guys, I think this is where I'm going to leave it. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Hope you found it interesting. So all I can say is, until next time, whatever you do, enjoy your gaming.